What's up everybody, welcome back to Altcoin Nexus and welcome to a quick crypto review on io.net, which is a new crypto. It's not a new crypto project, they actually have a product, it's being used, etc. But it just got launched on Binance, just had its token generation event. And I think it has potential and I think you need to know about it, alright? So what we're going to do in this video is very quickly, I'll try to keep it short and brief. We'll talk about, first of all, what is io.net, we'll talk about whether it has potential, and then last of all, I'll also do a brief price analysis. Since we just launched, I think that's interesting, and we'll talk about that, alright? So that's what we're going to do in this video, so let's get right into it. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about what io.net actually is. First of all, they describe themselves as a decentralized computing network enabling the development, execution, and scaling of machine learning applications on the Solana blockchain. All right, so in that, we know quite a few projects that do this, all right? So it's basically a DePIN or decentralized physical infrastructure network where basically if you need computing power and you don't want to have it yourself, all right, because then you have to buy all these GPUs, all these computers, you can use one of these platforms to actually get that from somewhere else all across the world. In general, projects that have done this before, such as Render, have been very, very successful. And that's also, we'll get to that in a moment when we talk about why io.net has potential. But that's in short what it is. And then apart from that, they raised quite a lot of funds, all right? So you can see that they raised $30 million by some major partners, including Aptos, Solana, Delphi Digital, Multicoin, major venture capitals, major angel investors like Anatoly Yakovenko, which is also from Solana. So this is a positive and negative because that means that they raised a lot of money. That means that all of these parties actually do have faith in this project, but it also means that they got tokens, which at some point of time they're going to dump on us. All right, so it's a bit of a blessing and a curse. I would say it's a bit more of a blessing, but it's something you should know nonetheless. And then apart from that, like I said, the short overview we just did, but here on the website, I'll leave links down in the description. I don't think this is that interesting because we very briefly talked about what it is, and I do think that that summary is everything you need to know for now. Now, if you actually want to know about their products, so their main product is IO Cloud. That's for providing GPU power. You can read more about that on the website. So if you want to do that, then fine, make sure to do that. What I do think is interesting is to look at the Explorer, so to actually check if the product is being used, and there you can also see how it compares to other major projects such as Render and Filecoin, which in general are still well-performing projects. Not all times, but they are projects that rally sometimes, and actually you can get some good returns with them. You can see that io.net has way more GPUs, and both in total, but also total CPUs. The one thing I kind of worry about, so you can see that they earned over $1 million, but what you can see is that a lot of these GPUs are idle. The earnings today are not so much, and I'm not sure if the earnings today and the earnings in general actually justify the valuation that they have, which at this point of time is a market cap of 340 million. Now, if I think that actually matters, we'll get to that in a moment when we talk about whether I think io.net has potential. Alright, so let's talk about that. Now, hopefully you do understand a little bit about the project. If you don't, then let me know down in the comments and I can answer some questions regarding it. The technicals are very difficult, but just in general to understand what the project basically is, I think that's quite understandable. So does io.net have potential? I think the main answer is yes, alright? Right now, if you look at other projects that kind of do the same, most of them, or at least a lot of them, have actually performed very well. And then you take a look at io.net. First of all, like I said, it's in an interactive narrative, all right? So it's tied to AI, which we haven't seen really that much in the last month or so. But when OpenAI releases GPT-5, etc., I do think AI projects are going to perform well again. And then io.net is positioned very, very well. They have some major backing, who have skin in the game, all right? So sure, they'll sell off tokens at some point of time, but they can also, this money actually does allow io.net to get some market makers, which is good for trading, at least sometimes, not always. But I do think the backing in this case, tied in with the narrative, is actually a positive thing. And then apart from that, even though I also think, like I said, this is a blessing and a curse, they have a product that actually works and is actually being used. Now, I also do think that we need to see the development of this product. All right, so if we don't see any increase in usage, or if we see a decrease in usage, that's actually a bad thing. And then I would say that's something that decreases the potential of IO.net. But the product, in combination with the backing, the listing, so the availability and the narrative, for me, that's enough to say that this does have potential. But I will probably on my analysis account, Cilinix Crypto, do some updates on it to also see the development of both the price and the product. Because what I don't like is that most of the Binance listings so far this year have been disastrous, all right? And they've been bearish. Right now, the market circumstances are also not great. So I would say that in combination with the potential downfall of the product, even though we cannot say anything about that, I would say that's a major negative about the project and the product and the coin. All right, so that's also a to be determined, because we don't know if this is going to perform well. But for now, I would say that's actually bearish. So let's do a quick price analysis to end with. We just launched, so the technical analysis you can do on this is very, very limited. I would say the main support level we have at this moment is this level right here at 3.5 and 3.4. And then the main resistance level is $4. It looks most likely to me that we're in a downtrend and that we're going to get some sort of a bearish breakout below 3.5 and 3.4 and a continuation down to $3. The main thing to wait for, I think, is first of all a relatively bullish Bitcoin, and then tied into that, a breakout. All right, so from these levels, looks like we're trending down. We would need to break above $4 for me to say that that's interesting. If we break above $4 and the market is relatively strong, that's great. And then we can actually have some sort of a rally, but I wouldn't expect that. I would say it's a possibility, but I would expect us to fall down lower. And then, for example, if we drop down to $3 and get some sort of a bullish breakout from there, above 3.4, for example, then that's interesting as well. But for now, we're looking for a solid support and then a breakout. And I don't see that right now. All right. So those are my thoughts. If you do have any questions about IO.net, whether it has potential and the price, you can also ask as well. Let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.